Hello to all my viewers, future viewers, and victims of gang stalking. I am the top martial artist in America, and I'm being persecuted for my political views, as well as gang stalked. Part of my gang stalking, which I'm sure is the same as yours, is that they criticize the things that you're proud of. They know that I'm the best. They have people troll. They sent one perp to accept my challenge. I blew him away 10-0. So they've resorted to name calling and, trying to downplay the relevance and so on and so forth. It is quite pathetic that you don't have many people who are apathetic to what is going on. They want to preclude us from society based on our beliefs, and they are in secret societies and doing things covertly because they know society doesn't approve of their beliefs, which is quite the sick irony. We live in a society where people are blackmailed. A lot of my gang stalkers, the perps, are told that they need to prove that they're not on my side. That's usually how they get the friends and the family on. They tell them lies. They say, well, this guy said this. In my case, they didn't have to lie as much. They simply said, this guy intends to go to war with evil, and we want you to prove that you're not on his side. And so I've seen a lot, And to all the Crips out there, you know how you've been put on the spot. You know who the good guy is. You know they fall into my trap. I've outsmarted them. I've shown you beyond any doubt that these people exist, that they are persecuting me for my political views, just like I said they were. Because they have reached out to you, and some of you are helping them. So as you can see, I'm quite capable of outsmarting them and using them as my puppets to fulfill my goals. Every day I outsmart these people. They can't beat me in debate. They can't beat me in the ring. And surely this applies to warfare. For example, if this was a war of political assassinations, of cat and mouse, certainly you can see how I can apply these transferable skills to that arena, and how I would come out on top, and they would be dead, murdered, their families weeping, lamenting, having constant gnashing of teeth. So when all is said and done, do you want to side with the losers who lose 10-0? Do you want to side with the cowards who have to troll instead of accept my challenge, who can't disprove a single key point? They are inferior minds. They're incompetent. They've been trying for years to get me to act up so they can send me to the psych ward. And they haven't been successful once. Whenever I act up, it's because of something I remember on my own. It has nothing to do with them or their influences. They are complete cowards. They are failures. They are puppets. They are conquered. They failed to rise above their oppressors. And now, bear with me as I'm going to have to go into another clip. I'm going to read you some paragraphs of the Bible. And I'm sure you understand how it applies to this situation. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to read from Proverbs and Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastical basically means relating to the church or its clergy. So Proverbs 24:28 through 34. Be not a witness against thy neighbor without cause, and deceiveth not with thy lips. Say not, I will do so to him as he hath done to me. I will render to the man according to his work. I went by the field of the slothful, and by the vineyard of the man void of understanding. And lo, it was all grown over with thorns, and nettles had covered the face thereof, and the stone wall thereof was broken down. Then I saw and considered it well. I looked upon it and received instruction. Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. so shall thy poverty come as one that travelleth, and thy want as an armed man. So this talks about, these people bearing false witness against me, and mental health, basically. It's extremely guilty of that. I'm not going to elaborate. I'm more than covered in my other videos. And I urge you all to subscribe to this channel. There's a lot of wisdom you need to know. So, Ecclesiastes, without God, everything is pointless. Ecclesiastes 2:12. And I'll end it where I see fit. And I turned myself to behold wisdom and madness and folly. For what can the man do that cometh after the king? Even that which hath been already done. Then I saw that wisdom excelleth folly, as far as light excelleth the darkness. The wise man's eyes are in his head, but the fool walketh in darkness. And I myself perceived also that one event happened to them all. Then I said in my heart, as it happeneth to the fool, so it happeneth even to me, and why was I then more wise? Then I said in my heart, that this also is vanity. For there is no remembrance of the wise more than of the fool forever, seeing that which now is in the days to come shall all be forgotten. And how dieth the wise man as the fool? Therefore I hated life, because the work that is wrought under the sun is grievous unto me, for all is vanity and vexation of spirit. Yes, I hated all my labor which I had taken under the sun, because I should leave it unto the man that shall be after me. And who knoweth whether he shall be a wise man or a fool? Yet shall he have rule over all my labor wherein I have labored, and wherein I have shewed myself wise under the sun, that this is also vanity. Therefore I went about to cause my heart to despair for all the labor which I took under the sun. For there is a man whose labor is in wisdom and in knowledge and in equity. Yet to a man that hath not labored, therein shall he leave it for his portion. This also is vanity and a great evil. For what hath man of all his labor and of vexation of the heart, wherein he hath labored under the sun? For all his days are sorrows, and his travail grief. Yea, his heart taketh not rest in the night. This is also vanity. There is nothing better for a man than that he should eat and drink, and that he should make his soul enjoy good in his labor. There also I saw that it was from the hand of God. For who can eat, or who else can hasten hereunto more than I? For God giveth to a man that is good in his sight and wisdom, and knowledge and joy. But to the sinner he giveth travail to gather and to heap up, that he may give to him that is good before God. This also is vanity and vexation of spirit. Now this next part is key, and I'm going to end it after this. So this is Ecclesiastes 3, 1 through 10. To everything there is a season and a time, to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to break down and a time to build up. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to get and a time to lose. A time to keep and a time to cast away. A time to rend, a time to sow. A time to keep silence and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. A time of war and a time of peace. What profit hath he that worketh in that wherein he laboureth? I have seen the travail which God hath given to the sons of men to be exercised in it. Very interesting how this relates to the church and to the clergy, the people who would preach the word. So there comes a time to kill. There comes a time of war. Very interesting. Very interesting. So when Jesus comes, does that change? What is the time to kill? The time, the manner, the place. Well, one might say, well, the time to kill is when you do battle with the word. And you kill the darkness around. You conquer it. You vanquish it. But as this refers to, undoubtedly refers to the Old Testament, is it not part of the Old Testament? Then they literally mean a time for war with men and a time for peace with men. It is impossible to come to the conclusion that a bunch of spiritual bottom feeders should be left alone and to still be a man of God. Some of you say, well, how could that be? You must chastise the sinner. You must rebuke the sinner. You must show them the error of their ways. When the influence of the sinner has surpassed that of the righteous man, thus begins the time for war. Nobody is smart. People are talented in different ways. I am talented with insight, with martial arts. I am talented with the understanding of things that are good because I have a good heart and I've cultivated. I have developed it. Shall we entertain evil, madness, and the perfidious, soulless, godless heathens? Shall we pretend that what they're doing isn't so bad so that we may be left alone? Or shall we confront them in a way that requires us to carry our cross, be it as the Muslim jihadist, be it as a Christian preaching the gospel, participating in ministry? As I pointed out before, a movie, Boondock Saints said it well, What must we fear the most? The indifference of good men. Well, what happens when the greatest warrior is a good man? What happens then? Does he not call out all the other warriors and say, if you really are a man, join me in war against the oppressor? Is that not what happens? The cycle of total war, the environment, the circumstances of injustices. What happens when a righteous man is put into that environment? What does he do? What happens when the greatest warrior, who is a righteous man, is put into that environment? If you are a greater warrior than I am, then what kind of a coward would you be to not address the enemy? I once knew a cripple who went to war with wicked men. Thank you.